Hello and welcome to Tell the Story episode 3. I'm here with Nathan Reid.
Hello.
So today we're going to talk about Nathan's journey as he moved from Malaysia to England and how that affected him. Why did I say how that affected you?
I don't know. Well, it did affect me quite a lot. So, I guess it might work, but let's just get
start.
on with the show. Do you ask me anything, or as you can see, we haven't done this before.
Yeah,
so
I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, so I've had no script, no preparation whatsoever. So
that's the way we like it. Well, I like it because it's
that's
fun. That look on your face right now is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, you won't be able to see it, but it is a really good picture. So I am Nathan. I am 15 years old. I live in Birmingham. I go to the same church as Ethan.
Yes.
And I lived in Malaysia for 8 years of my life.
Do you enjoy it more than here?
Well, I think because I was younger, my views were a little bit skewed because I didn't see any of the bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So once on the downstairs, because we lived in an apartment, our downstairs neighbour's bike got stolen. But I didn't really that's a big problem.
Yeah.
It's like,
Do you only remember the great parts of it?
Yeah, so being like a 6-year-old kid, I remember the playground and stuff like that. But
so how did you find moving from Malaysia to England?
Horrible. That's a quick answer. Because I went to Malaysia when I was 1, so it was kind of because everything I knew was in Malaysia. So going back to England, I'd seen my grandparents at Christmas and stuff, but house didn't know. Grandparents' house, yes, I did know, but that was my limit. So making friends and getting loads of references which British people got, like TV shows and films I hadn't watched. It was quite hard for me.
So walk me through the step-by-step process of you, or do you remember that at all, from moving to Malaysia to England?
Moving from Malaysia to England, it was kind of hard.
So when was the first idea implanted in your head that you were leaving?
It's probably 3 months before when our parents told us we're gonna move back.
Yeah. So what happened afterwards?
We just packed up our whole house, and it was really sad to see all your memories go in a box or be given away. It's we had to give our fish away, and I was gutted by that. No pun intended. But it was
what was the fish's name?
Oh, we didn't. They were just little fishes, and we were
oh yeah,
hello fish. We just clean your tank with this. It's really... Do you know how you clean fish tanks?
I have no idea.
Okay, basically, well, I've no idea if this is how you universally do it, but we had this thing. It's whiteboard rubber, but on both sides of the glass.
I've seen that before. It's so awesome.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
And then we were when it fell off, you had to try and go.
Yeah,
it was this whole game. It was
so much fun.
Yeah.
So after packing up all your stuff, when did you start leaving, or did you?
It was all happened very quickly. Yeah. So within a month, we'd got our things packed up and we were on the plane, and so. Yeah, we didn't really have time to say goodbye to everyone. Yeah. We all do all the things we wanted to do. So
what were your first initial thoughts as you arrived in England?
Well, I was slightly worried because we were on a 2-stage flight. We went from Malaysia to Amsterdam and then from Amsterdam to Birmingham.
Okay.
Getting off at the tunnel when you come off the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's oh no, I can see my breath watching the world. Because then we came back in the winter and I was oh no, my breath. So
what is this? I've never seen this before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so so that was well, that wasn't England, but that was cold weather. It was because Malaysia, it's on the equator, so it's hot.
Mm-hmm. So other than your absolutely incredible discovery that you can see your breath, what was completely new to England that you thought was crazy? What did you think of the people?
People are really mean. Because in Asia, it might have been because I was white. They expected me to have our family to have a lot of money, although we lived in one of the smallest apartments there. But it's they treated us really, really respectfully.
It's respect and honor.
Yeah. They'd call everyone would call you brother. or like I'd call like our next door neighbours auntie and uncle
Yeah.
because that's just what you called everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So because like when I came to England, it's like within like 2 days I've been teased for something. I'm like, hey, this is new.
So what was it like getting a house and moving in?
Oh, we didn't get a house for ages. We were just in our like me and my brother. We shared a room
Mm-hmm.
with like grandparents, just two mattresses on the floor.
Yeah. And then
But
moving into school, how was that?
well, my brother got into school before me,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had an option to go into this private school or go into the same school as my brother. One was really, really big, one was really small. I'm like, private school, I'll have to do a test. And I haven't learned any of the British curriculum. So it's like, that was... So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to the small one. And then I had a teacher who was really, really nice.
Yeah.
And then she taught me for year 5 and year 6, because when I came back, I was like halfway through year 5.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then like I got to year 6 at the end and got to my SATs, and then I did really well.
That's good.
So yeah, that was really good.
How was it like adapting to friendship groups and everything for you?
Oh, I like never really had any like
Hmm.
strong friendship groups. Like no one from school like ever like came around from my house or anything like that,
Yeah.
or something like that. But so yeah,
It's tough.
yeah.
I mean, I definitely went through that a lot as well when I moved to England for the first time, but it's interesting to see how like similar your story is to mine. It's kind of
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. So what were some of the highlights then to like moving to England? What did you like appreciate a lot about moving here?
There's a lot of things that I know that aren't the highlights. So like the weather, it was cold. I'm like, oh no, this is freezing. Initially, the jet lag was terrible.
Yeah.
Food in England is slightly different because when they say, "Oh, spicy," you're like, "No."
Spice is a very controversial thing for
Yes.
Nathan, and for me, spice is like the spice of life. Is like you need spice on everything, like
Yeah.
to give it
Chili flakes
flavor
on
and
toast and so
everything.
on. So like,
Totally. And then when like you come to England, they say this is the spiciest thing we got, and you're like, spice? Where's the spice in this? You're like, where's the Tabasco?
Yeah.
Okay, give me some highlights then, like,
Okay,
like
highlights.
things you really enjoyed.
Oh, I really like going to church because, like, in
Yeah?
Malaysia, our church was our family, another family,
It was very small.
and then like some people joined, came
Yeah.
and went every so often. So yeah, and then we went to our church our grandparents went to
In England?
in England,
Yeah.
yeah, and that was like it was great, but like we didn't really learn anything.
Hmm.
So and then we came to like our church,
Life Central.
Yeah, Life Central. I was,
Mhm.
I was wondering like, should we name drop
Yeah.
it? Or this is like, yeah.
No,
And
we
that-
definitely should because it's a great church
Yeah,
and I love
great
it.
church.
Yeah.
Yeah, please do come. It's on a Sunday.
Sundays.
Yeah.
Love
That sounds like an man enough. But we are not sponsored by Life Central Church.
it. Just love it so much.
Yeah. So, because like going from a youth group of me, my brother, and 2 other girls to
A youth group of
a
like
huge,
50,
yeah,
30
50.
people. Yeah.
It's like, oh my goodness. And then that's like where I met you, and like there's people in our youth group who have had similar experiences of moving country. I'm like,
and I think it's amazing how we've kind of like attracted to each other.
Yeah.
Like you are in the friend group with like friends at church that like all have been through pretty much the same on like traveling around the world. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. we're gonna take him on a plane one day.
We'll take him to Malaysia and try that spicy food.
Yes.
So on the topic of food, like what was the most crazy thing that you've tried or eaten in Malaysia?
I didn't really try the weird stuff.
Hmm.
Like probably like the weirdest thing we had was like I don't know, like fish eyeballs.
Yeah.
Because like in Asia they keep the head on and like because once when we had some British people come around for our house when we were in England, and like we came with the head on, and they're like, it's like,
why is the head on that fish?
Yeah, because because in Asia there was this really memorable moment me and my brother have. Because we have this fish with like a head on, and then my brother's like, who's gonna eat the head? And then mum's like, the bin, and then dad's like, no, there's quite a lot of meat to the head. So it's like, oh yeah, so there's a lot of. But they do eat they sometimes eat like the voice box of
voice box.
So I think it's like chicken or something. Like
what?
It's either neck or voice box. One of the things.
That's very weird.
Yeah, And then they have like chicken feet, but
Yeah, chicken feet.
you've had
Yeah.
chicken feet, haven't you?
Chicken feet soup. That was an interesting experience.
Wait, no, tell the story of when you about that.
Okay, so we were in Thailand. We were going on a trip to this place called the Sticky Waterfalls. Well, it wasn't called that, but that's what we called it because we'd climb it like from bottom to top, like constantly throughout the whole day. But on our journey to the Sticky Waterfalls is about say an hour 2 hours from our house, and so on the road there, we were starting to get really hungry. It was lunchtime. We were like, we really need to get some food, and so we stopped off at the first like restaurant area on the road that we just had to go there because we were all starving in the car. And so there was like a lot of peculiar, very interesting things on the menu. And so mom and dad kind of just ordered what they thought would be the best for us, and then we got some. After a while of them making it, bowls would come on the table, a couple bowls for each of us, and we look in the bowl, and there were like two chicken feet, like literally
Yeah.
chicken feet in my soup. What do you do with chicken feet in your soup? Do you use it as a fork or a spoon? Like, how does it work?
I think they're gonna like to flavor it. Like,
Yeah,
if
probably.
you do know, please do tell us. What's that? We have an email, don't we?
The tell the story pod. No, tell the story email at gmail.com. Yes.
Was it all lowercase?
Yes.
Okay, all lowercase.
Yeah. And so that was a very, very interesting meal. So we didn't really eat much, and then we got back on the road, drove a couple like 5 more minutes, and there was a Five Guys like right there.
You can get Five Guys in Thailand.
Oh, it was like, I don't remember what it was called. It was something like Five Guys, where it was like pristine chicken store. It's like, what the heck? So yeah, that was a fun story. But yeah, food in Asia is like completely different to how it is here in England. It's all English British breakfast.
Yeah, it's like
with sausages and eggs and
bacon.
Bacon.
Then you got like porridge.
Porridge, yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, for me, I don't really like custard, porridge, crumble. What else?
Crumble has grown on me. The crumble is just good. I love it. Apple crumble, so good. What's your favorite British dessert then?
Dessert? No idea. Well, because Mum makes a lot of food, so it's like probably like a biscuit Mum makes, and I'll work out what it is later. But it's probably something that my Mum makes because she's like really good. So
every time I've gone to eat food at your house, absolutely amazing food. Love it.
Yeah, partially because she does cook like special food when visitors come
it's
around.
It's all Asian as well, and I love it.
It's great. I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
How have you found England as you've lived in it more? Like, has it got easier? Has it got harder? Because for me, it's like I have times where I'm like, it's really easy because I forget. Yeah. And then I remember all the things I left behind, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I really want to go back.
I totally get that.
So
I feel like at the very start, like moving here, the first like 2-3 years were very difficult.
Yeah, I think they're like always the hardest.
It was just hard because everyone, when I joined the school that I went to, everyone was already in their friend groups and everyone knew each other because they were there for a year, and I was just thrown in there. I was like, what do I do? I don't have like anything in common with any of these people.
Here's a class now. Try and make friends. Good luck.
Yeah, so I kind of just focused a lot on just getting the work done and finishing school and getting home. That was kind of like how I lived life for a couple of years. But now, like, the school I'm in, absolutely amazing. I have so many people that I have so much in common with, and I love it.
Yeah, so why don't you talk more about the school you're in?
So I'm in a film school right now, which is pretty amazing, and it's just really fun to meet and work with people who are there for the same reasons and who want to be there and who have tried to get there. So it's actually been the first school ever where I've started at the same time as everyone else. For every other school I've been to, I was just thrown in there and like had to just make friends with people. Whereas this, I'm like already.
Yeah, you start with the like original group.
So it's so much easier and really great.
Yeah.
But like, I also feel like the church that we go to has made living here so much better. So much better. Like in Thailand, I mean in China first, Christianity was kind of like on the like don't talk about it in public. So it was very small and very like quiet and slow.
So like when we go out for meal, we'd whisper our prayers so no one else heard. So it's like, thank you God for our faith.
Wow.
So
But then, like, moving to Thailand, there were a lot of missionaries there and a lot of people that loved God and wanted to share that. But like all the churches were kind of like, I don't know, I just didn't really fit into the churches, and they kind of all felt like adult
Yeah, so
level.
like
Like the
focus on
youth group
adults.
and kids work was good, but
It's
just
more
not
like
for me
so
really.
more like a childminder than wanting
Yeah.
like a lesson.
But then like coming to Life Central here in Hillzone has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And the youth group is great, and the people there, and just working with the tech team and getting those live streams done every Sunday are just a lot of fun. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those have definitely been like things that have made England feel a lot better to me. And I feel like if we stayed in Thailand, if we stayed in Asia, I wouldn't have that church and a closer relationship with God and
Yeah,
that church that I'm at.
because
So
like in England or in the UK, there's a wide variety. So like with our church, they go to a thing called Limitless, which is
yeah.
a festival. You didn't actually go to that when you were
Well,
in America.
yeah. So like getting churches all around the UK into one place for a whole
Yeah,
week,
you could like
camping and everything. It's
yeah, because like
amazing.
Limitless, it was like we had this like event. We had the event in like a huge warehouse. And it's like you get like 4,000 kids in a warehouse, like jumping and shouting for Jesus. It was great.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, say.
But yeah, I feel like England has definitely opened up like the opportunities in my life really for the
Yeah.
future. I feel like if we stayed in Asia, I would love every second of living there.
Yeah.
But then it wouldn't really like get me anywhere in the future, because now that I'm here, I've always had this urge to leave.
Yeah.
But I've learned so much
Yeah.
here that now I have this knowledge. When I leave, it's going to be a lot easier.
Yeah.
And I'm going to know where to go and know how to live and make a living.
And you also have like awareness of lots of other things, because like
yeah, exactly.
Like I'm dyslexic, but in Asia they just thought I was really, really bad at spelling, and that was my fault. And so they're like, said the words I do like comprehension. And I'm like, oh no, I don't know how to spell this word. And they're like, oh Nathan, you're the British kid. How come you can't do English? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So.
But like at this school, I feel like they've helped a lot with just my knowledge on like creating YouTube. Like at this new school, I'm learning so much on like the business level of stuff, and creating this podcast has just been like a side hobby that I'm gonna grow, and I'm loving it.
Yeah.
And then I get to have this amazing conversation with you. Love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think our conversation has come to an end. I've loved to get to know you just a little bit more, Nathan, and your story. Loved it. So if you want to follow us more and get to know what happens next on our podcast, follow us on Instagram at Tell the Story Pod. And if you have any questions, just give us a DM and we'll talk about any of your questions. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you in a couple weeks.
Yep. So bye.
Goodbye.